What's up, everybody? So I just finished reading Goosebumps Slappyworld, book number 18, Night of the Squawker. And this just came out. This is the newest Goosebumps book. It literally just come out, I think, like 2 weeks ago now, roughly. Or actually, like, not even 2 weeks ago, like last week, I think it was. I don't know. My memory is horrible. But, yeah, I just finished reading this. And, man, this book, I tell you what. All right, so as you guys probably already know, I'm not really a big fan of a lot of these newer Goosebumps books. A lot of it is just R.L. Stine. I mean, he's used every idea you can possibly think of at this point. And a lot of it is just rehashing like older Goosebumps books. And I'm just going to tell you right now, this one is pretty much a complete rehash of this book here, Lizard of Oz from the Most Wanted series. Like in terms of the story structure, the twists, and just like the way everything is set up, it feels almost identical to Lizard of Oz, except it's with birds instead of a reptile. I will say that it is better than Lizard of Oz. I think Lizard of Oz is probably one of the worst Goosebumps books ever written, in my opinion. I did not like that one at all. That one to me felt like a parody book. You couldn't really take it seriously. It was one of my least favorite Most Wanted books. It was just really, really corny. The characters in it were just really dumb, especially like the parent figures. But yeah, this one is a little bit better than that. This one is really not all that bad. So let me get into the plot a little bit, what this one is about. So in Night of the Squawker, our main character Cooper goes on like a little nature fishing trip with his parents. And while his parents are fishing, his younger sister, who is like an animal lover, she likes caring and taking care of like wounded animals, like rehabilitating them kind of. And she goes off in the woods and finds this injured bird, just kind of laying like in the woods. His leg is hurt or something. He can't really fly away. And the bird is like really strange looking. It's a species of bird they've never seen before. And so Cooper's sister decides to keep it and take care of it. And of course, our main character Cooper is he's not really happy about it. He's like kind of scared of the bird. He's not like his parents or his sister. They're like animal lovers and nature and wildlife freaks, I guess. And Cooper he's not like that at all. He can't get into the wildlife thing. And he's kind of like worried about this bird. He's kind of suspicious about it. And he notices as his parents and him are leaving this area that they're in, like this forest, he noticed that there's this fence surrounding the woods that they were in, and there's a sign on it that says, please do not feed the birds. This is like an experiment area or something like that. And he tries to tell his parents about it, but they don't hear him, and they all end up leaving. So he's the only one that notices this sign. And so they go home. His sister starts taking care of the bird. It's very like aggravated. The bird is like trying to fly around the house a lot and squawking and just making a lot of ruckus. And he tries to bite Cooper. I think he does bite Cooper a couple of times. And of course his sister is all like babying over the bird, and he just needs to be taken care of. The poor thing, he's injured, kind of like that. And then after his sister is caring for the bird for a while, Cooper starts to notice that his sister is starting to act kind of strangely, and she's starting to act like a bird herself. And we're not really getting into spoiler territory yet. This all happens pretty early on in the story, I think within like the first third, the first 40 pages or so. And she herself like starts just doing these odd things. Like she goes out to help Cooper shoot one of his movies that he's making for this film festival, and she starts bending over the ground and pecking at the ground like a bird, just like pecking at the dirt. And then he also like walks into her room, and she's just sitting on the ground and like making bird noises, like squawking and screeching or whatever. And from there, things just kind of progress and sort of escalate with this sort of strange behavior that his sister Anna is doing. And he thinks that she's turning into a bird, and he's worried about her. And he tries to get his parents convinced of, about what's happening. Of course, nobody believes him. And yeah, that's pretty much the plot of this one. I won't go any further than that. I don't want to spoil anything. And I'll say right away that I actually didn't mind this one for like the first half of it. This book doesn't really have a bad setup to it. The characters are actually decently well written, considering not a lot of the modern books are that way. I'd say that this one had a decent setup to it. I didn't mind the first half or so. I was actually thinking this might be like a 2.5-star book. When I was like at the halfway mark, this is definitely, I think, one of the more well written Slappyworld books that I've read for the most part. But it is a little bit slow paced. Pretty much the main focus of this is Cooper being worried about his sister. There's not really a lot that happens. Other than that, it's not a very eventful one. So it is kind of a slow burn, I guess you could say. But then we get to, after this long focus of Cooper watching his sister slowly turn into a bird and him trying to figure out what to do about it, we get to the very rushed climax and ending of the story. And this is where the story completely tanks for me. This is where things just fall apart. We get, in the last couple of chapters, we get, it's not even really a climax, to be honest, or like a resolution or anything. We basically just get a twist ending that I saw coming. I knew it was coming based on a couple of things that happened earlier in the story. I knew it was coming, and I was just so disappointed with it because I've seen it happen so many times already. And I mean, I get Stein, I get it. You're running out of ideas, but it's just a twist we've seen before. If you've read Lizard of Oz, it's the kind of twist ending we saw in this book. And it's just so dumb. It ruined it for me. I hated the twist. I hated the ending to this book. It brought my rating down like almost a full star. I was leaning towards like a 2.5 out of 5 stars for this one, like I said, which isn't a bad rating. It's just kind of like in the okay, like mediocre territory. Like I said, I like the first half of this book. It's kind of surprised me with how well written it is. I like the characters in it. Cooper is a decent protagonist. I kind of like the movie aspect. Him and his friends are trying to like make this homemade movie for like this film festival thing. It had some things going for it. But once we got towards the second half of the book, it just started plodding along. There wasn't really a lot happening besides just him being worried about his sister Anna. And then we get the very, very rushed ending and then that twist thrown in there that is just so dumb. As soon as I read that, I was just like, come on, another one of these, really? It's just, man, if you're a fellow Goosebumps fan, if you've read Lizard of Oz, if you've read a lot of Goosebumps books, you probably know exactly what I'm talking about. But yeah, my final rating for Night of the Squawker is probably like a low 2 out of 5 stars. I'm thinking like maybe like a 1.75 out of 5. Very low 2-star rating for this book. Not the worst Slappyworld book that I've read. I've read worse. This book definitely wasn't terrible, but it's not very good either. It's not really one that I can recommend. Yeah, this is the second to the last book in the Slappyworld series, and I'm hoping that the last one, it's advertised on the back right here, Fright Night, is going to be better than this. I sure hope so, because man, out of all the Slappyworld books that I've read so far, none of them have really amazed me. None of them have been great. I think the highest star rating I've given to a Slappyworld book is a 3 out of 5 stars. I gave that one to It's Alive, It's Alive. That was the best Slappyworld book that I've read so far. This one was kind of a disappointment. So yeah, that's Night of the Squawker, the newest Goosebumps book. If you have read this, let me know what you think of it down in the comments. I'd love to hear what you have to say. And that's it for my review for today, guys. So thanks for watching. Peace.